Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another episode of Trudge Report. We are a recovery-based podcast. My name is Shawn and I am your host. I'm joined by my good friends and fellow trudgers. Please remember to to listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Videos will be posted each week so you can watch episodes on YouTube and Facebook. But as always, please be sure to download on your listening platforms. Remember to like and subscribe and smash Corey, right? We're smashers over here. Like and subscribe on all social media outlets with the handle at Trudge Report Pod. We are brought to you by Stella Mix Podcast Management and our wonderful producer and editor, Miss Janine Stella. Gentlemen, the boys are back in town. It is just the boys tonight. Miss Janine is taking the night off. We're ready to tear some SHIT up, literally and figuratively, and have a podcast. How we doing, guys? Greg, how are you? Let's start with you.
I'm doing well. I've got a few hot takes for you boys. I got some grievances, and you guys are gonna hear them. So
I love it. Let's go.
Number one,
Let's want to go around real quick, and then we'll give you a few minutes.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that. How's everything else going, Greg?
I'm good. I'm good. We're it's winter in Ohio. We're living the dream.
Is you guys getting that crazy snowstorm, or is it just the Northeast?
Yeah, we got pounded today. It's no big deal. You know, there is a salt shortage, so the roads are just it's a free for all out there. Everybody's got to.
I mean, we got plenty down here.
Do.
We got this thing called the ocean next to us. I'm sure they can figure out a way to get some salt.
The funny thing is Cleveland's literally built on top of one of the world's largest salt mines. So, but we can't figure out how to get it up. I guess it's too far down. We got to get it up.
What can't get up? What can't get up can't get out. So it's okay.
That's right.
Natural selection taking place, Greg, on the roads. I love it.
Yep.
That's funny. How's wedding planning going?
It's good, man. I hope to have a venue solidified by within the next 2 weeks.
Very cool.
That's big, man.
Very cool.
Yeah, just let us know where it is. I'm gonna camp out there until the wedding.
Sick. Like Walmart on Black Friday, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure nobody else can enjoy their stay there.
You were like the king of the most outrageous and unnecessary comments. I just want you to know that.
Shawn, don't ever try to change me, okay? Christ.
Corey, how are you doing?
I'm good. I got a couple things here. I think they're all kind of on the serious note too, unfortunately. But let me think. Okay, I'll start with this. I'm not going to go into it. But I do want to ask for prayers for an undisclosed family member.
Okay.
Who has had a medical emergency since last week, and some days it's trending really well, and some days it wasn't. So, I think right now as well, but still, please pray for.
You're not allowed to divulge who it is.
I'm not going to because I never cleared saying anything about it in the first place. But
got it.
But just pray for my undisclosed family member.
Okay.
Also, dude, and Shawn, I don't think we need to spend too much time on it, but I do want to mention. So once again, like rest in peace, Papa Ron. That was a touching thing that we had yesterday for him, his celebration of life, and kudos to you for the work you did putting it together, and everybody else that like brought stuff. I certainly had zero to do with it. I just showed up and enjoyed everybody's presence. But I want to say this real quick about it. One of the biggest takeaways from yesterday was hearing from his sister, right? And because, you know, in our recovery community, I feel like it's very easy to get caught up in the fluff of, oh, you know, I've been sober this long and I was able to buy this cool car and I was able to do this and I got this many guys I'm helping get sober or whatever. And it can sometimes it can become a little flashy and stuff, I feel like. And there was something very raw and genuine about hearing about how well Papa Ron lived this spiritual way of life with his family. I mean, just some of the insight she gave us about that. I just thought, like, I hope that people say
he did a lot of stuff in his life.
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
So, dude, She gave the same eulogy at when we did the family thing in Arcadia like a month ago,
Uh-huh.
and I knew like 80% of everything he's accomplished in his life, but there was stuff like I had no idea he was an Indian guide. Papa Ron was an Indian guide, like a real deal, like knows the history of a lot of those tribes, just boat captain, pilot, which I knew that, banjo player, which I knew that, but just like did so much stuff on top of having an extremely successful construction business.
It was that all. I mean, everything she said, like he built his first two homes. I think she said like
Yep,
stuff like
from
that was really
scratch.
cool to
Yeah.
hear. But also, like mostly for me, it was like she told the story about when he approached her to make amends and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like the things that we're supposed to be doing. Like we knew that Papa Ron lived this way of life, but there's something
Yeah.
genuine about hearing it from a family member. So
I agree.
it was special.
Yeah.
I was glad I was there, and
No, it was really cool. It was pretty much how I envisioned it. And it was exactly the type of closure in a good way that I think I needed, and I think a lot of us probably needed. You know what I mean? I know how much it meant to Kathleen and stuff to have all those people there. Like I said, the family thing in Arcadia was wonderful, but this was for us, anyways, for us in recovery, it was different. So
yeah,
very cool.
few
Thank you. Yeah, I was
few
going to
uh
mention that.
few faces I hadn't seen in a while too, so that
Hmm.
was good.
And some faces that coexisted together in the same room that we didn't know how that was going to go.
Yeah, and some faces I never want to see again. I
Well, that
mean,
might be true too, but
you know,
it was very good. So,
yeah.
what else, Corey? Anything else you want to talk about?
I'll end with this. By this time next week, I will have seen Scream 7, and I am rocked up over this. So very
Very
happy.
cool.
Happy to be
Very
here.
cool. I hope you enjoy your date night. Danny P, what is up, my friend?
What's up, fellas?
Coming straight off the court.
Straight out of the court. Yeah. I mean, we're starting to gear into softball, and we're tailing the end of basketball right now. So we started giving Maya some pitching lessons in the basement and setting that up for her. And
Nice.
she's going to try out pitching this year. She's
Fast pitch softball?
yeah, she's scared. I said you got this.
I
'Cause
still don't know how to do that. That's such
Yeah.
a hard motion.
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but it works. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And she's 8, and we're playing 10U, so she's gonna have 3 years to figure it out. So it's the best thing.
Cool.
And yeah, she's excited for that. And then my boys coaching them, work. I mean, everything's good, man. Yeah, we had snow all day today, but it really didn't do anything. You know what I mean? We had like an inch on the ground. And my mom,
Did you already have snow still, or did it all melt away from the last storm?
it all melted, and we got downpouring rain, so it all went bye.
In true Ohio fashion, it was 50 and nice, and then it was right back to winter. So
It was 70 last Thursday. Me and Maya went to the park. It was
Yeah.
70 degrees on Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Wow.
wild. But I was like, I woke up this morning, I went outside, it was snowing. I was like, oh, come on, man. I thought we were in spring. And then my mom texted me from Connecticut, and she said, we got about 2 feet. I was like, oh, what? I'll take this.
Yeah.
Let's be grateful, Daniel. Let's be a little grateful here. Yeah, they got,
Northeast got pummeled.
they got hammered.
Yeah, but
man.
you know what? When we get smashed, dude, none of our like mayors or city officials, offer to pay us to shovel snow, which kind of pisses me off.
And make sure you got your ID.
Right.
Oh man, but yeah, I was talking to my son and my mom today, and they got almost 2 feet of snow, so he probably won't have school like all week. It's crazy, man. But yeah,
That's wild.
Being grateful, we only got some flurries, and it's a little cold, but it's not bad. It's not negative 15, so I'll take it. Otherwise, all is good, man. Ready to have an awesome show with y'all.
Good, man. Good. Well, as Corey said, we had the service run. It was great. Grace had her first T-ball game Saturday. It went pretty good. I gotta say, it went pretty good. There were no actual tears. There was a couple times where she like pulled the hands up and was like, first at bat, she batted third, first inning, first swing, got a great hit, refused to run, just like would not run, stood right there. Everybody's yelling, "Go, Grace, run, run, run!" She's just like, not doing it. So I pulled her aside. I was like, "Hey." I was like, I'll give you candy if you run. And she's like, oh, okay. And the next 2 times she got a hit. Both times she got a hit all 3 times and ran. It was good. No interest in fielding quite yet. Just wants to bat, but she liked it. It was good. Um, it was a good time. It was fun to be out there. I was really nervous, like for her. Just I was like really nervous, and
you don't know what to expect, man. I know the feeling, dude.
I remember how much I loved baseball. Like I don't know, there's just all that stuff started coming in, but it was good. It was good stuff. So
I'm always nervous for Lucy and her recitals and stuff.
Yeah.
And the Nutcracker, always.
Yeah, same.
Dude, I got Shawn last year, piggyback off of your candy thing. So last year, Maya was like in between. She was striking out a lot and getting a little defeated and stuff. And I said, listen here. I said, $5 a hit. Worst thing I ever did in my life. I gave her $95 by the end of the year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was, dude, I got so much hate from it from other people. Like, you're paying her. Dude, it worked. And she loves softball now. You know what I mean? Like, it gave her that little motivation because they don't know. You know, she's 8 years old, man. You know? And, but yeah, I was like, some of the coaches like, Maya would of course brag about it. I said, dude, you got to keep that on the down low. You can't be telling, you can't be telling people that. But yeah, I mean, it worked, man. She loves it now.
Yeah, I got to remember, like a bunch of the other on both teams were just as bad. Like they don't know what they're doing. They're 6 years old. Ours, Grace is 6 years old. The one little boy on the other team hit the ball and like ran straight to center field, just like boom, center field. Like it was fun. It's good
funny,
stuff.
man. Yeah, I know. It's so funny, dude.
Well, you got Greg. It's what you got to look forward to when you start pumping out a bunch of half ginger babies.
I don't know. The one we're good with one, but it is funny though. When I first met Lauren, Peyton was on a baseball team, and they were, I think, 6 to 7 year olds at the time, and the coach spent a good majority of practice and games just yelling at all the kids to stop playing in the dirt.
Oh yeah,
we're like amazed. Exactly.
That's all. That's what Grace.
That's all they were doing. Like none of them have an interest at fielding.
No, but hitting they're solid on the hitting part. But same thing. She just. Yeah, she just draws like fucking circles in the dirt the whole time. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, so we ended up putting Maya at first base because she's engaged every single play, and like it worked like perfect. Because in the outfield, see you later. It was over.
Yeah.
All right, Greg, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, I got a couple rants I got to rip off.
All right, let's cook.
Number one,
let him cook.
Number one, in retrospect and in hindsight, I make if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, I make the Harden for Garland trade 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, 100%. You're trying to win now.
So much better right now, and we're going to be better in the long run. And that might be a hot take. Dane and I went back and forth for 25 minutes the other day on who
you're trying to win right now with Donovan Mitchell. You're not looking at 3 to 5 years, right?
100%.
Greg brought me down to Cleveland. He gave me some knowledge when I was I was on pure Harden hate because I can't stand his effort.
Well, I get that.
Just look at Jared Allen's stats since since Harden came to the team. That's all I gotta say. But
Greg reined me in.
And I don't even know necessarily how to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up tactfully, I'll say, because we have gone 106 episodes, I believe, without getting political or straying into that realm. And I'm going to try and keep that tradition for us, gentlemen. But I gotta really hammer home on 2 things. Number one, I think you can all agree, in the field of addiction and recovery, of course, we don't. For those of us who choose to work a solid program and mentor other individuals, we don't let people run around living in delusion. I think we can all probably agree on that. We have a tendency to call people out when people get sick with other forms of mental illness, schizophrenia, whatever. We don't let them. Hey, buddy, it's going to be okay. As long as you identify as being okay, you're going to be fine. You don't need meds. You don't need a hospital, nothing like that. But we do have, in my opinion, a pretty big issue in this country that it just seems society as a whole very much dances around. And I think we need to stop the delusion as a whole because people are losing their lives. It's getting crazy. It's a crazy world out there. That's all I'll say about it. I'm not going to elaborate too much further on it. But
I have a question.
I mean, if you got some hate mail to send, we'll take that too. But
I have a question, Greg.
You will have an answer, sir.
What the fuck am I missing?
Yeah, I'm kind of lost too.
Yeah, me too.
What happened?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of violence lately right here in our country, and certainly a couple kind of crazy acts have taken place, and I think that there is a common thread with a lot of that stuff, and
meaning these perpetrators of these violent acts, they have mental
100%.
illness, and they need.
There is a lot of unchecked mental illness that is running rampant in our country that kind of it gets played along with, and I just think, for society as a whole, we gotta stop playing around in the delusions of other people and kind of get back to a level of sanity. I think
them.
Mental health is definitely like way down on the totem pole as far as priorities in America. I
do feel like I hear, I know, like I hear you guys. I feel like, and maybe that's why I see all those commercials. Like you have celebrities doing commercials about treating your mental health and like the online therapy. Like I do feel like, yes, I feel like it's unchecked, but I feel like there's a lot more. I feel like we are talking about it. I think people are just simply not seeking treatment.
What happens when you go to that treatment and they tell you that your delusion is okay?
Well, that's
society needs to bend.
That's obviously
your
not
delusion.
Okay.
Right? I was gonna.
Go ahead.
I was gonna go the route of, have you guys tried to pay a therapist recently? Because it is fucking expensive. I mean, like people can seek help all they want. Doesn't
like
mean they
it's
can
only
afford
for
it.
the elite almost. Yeah,
that's why my best friend's a therapist. It's free.
There you go.
Some people know a painter, a plumber, an electrician. You got to know a therapist too.
Yep.
I think, I mean, like the Greg's point that we're talking about is like, like all these things do, whether it's political or anything like that. Everyone talks about it, whether it's mental health, whether it's racism, whether it's things, but nobody actually effing does anything.
Yeah.
That's what, like, to Greg's point is like everyone's pussyfooting. Oh, Jimmy, he's going to be okay. We signed him up with the therapist and stuff like. He's just having a bad day. He punched 15 holes in the walls. He's okay. Right. He's going to be fine. Or like the Greg's point is like, calling people out on stuff like, this dude needs help. Let's get him help. Let's not like, have this soft approach to it, because how are you going to have a soft approach to this guy that might murder 17 people in a school? I mean, right. I feel like it's talked about and all these things are super loud, but nothing actually ever happened.
And when we say let's get them help, we mean like institutionalize them.
Yeah.
Treat them that way. Yeah.
Would you rather, 72-hour hold, or you just let them free? We'll see what happens.
Right.
Let's just roll the dice.
Right. And last but not least, I'll keep this one short and to the point. It ain't released if it's fully redacted. Okay,
it's so ridiculous.
There is no such thing.
There's so much.
Give it to us or don't give it to us.
I don't know what to believe.
This in between shit. Exactly. You don't know what to believe.
I don't know what's true and what's not true. My wife is so far down some rabbit holes, dude. Like, it's so far down, and she's telling me, and I'm like, I don't know, like
shit.
I don't know what's true and what's not true. It's not that I don't care. I just don't know.
I am a firm believer we need to drag all these people into the light.
They were.
Here's the interesting. Sorry, Dan.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Here's the interesting thing about this, and it really isn't about like Greg said, it's not about the side of the aisle. When you think about it like this, like we have these 3 million pages of documents of this dickhead, his girlfriend, and all of these people that he associated with. Now, I'm not saying all the people that we do know of are even guilty of anything. Not saying that by any means. But there's a fuck ton of names out there. And 2 people have been convicted.
Mm.
That the math just doesn't math, dude. You know what I mean? So obviously somebody, whoever that may be, many somebodies.
A lot of people
hiding shit.
A lot of people seem to think that if everything true is released and everything, that the system will crumble. And if I say good, let it.
Yeah,
let it. because
we
these
need
people
that anyway.
deserve every little bit of penance that they got coming to them. That's all.
Captain is on the bridge. We'll be okay.
That's right.
It's just literally like convicted of organizing a sex trafficking ring, but nobody knows who the rest of the ring was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Well,
what
and
the
then
fuck?
the problem is they go out, they release a list of 300 names, 400 names on it, and they're like, well, these are with zero context, zero nothing. Just here are the people that are on it or that have been mentioned. But it's just a list of people.
Right.
So now it's like
even
you're
Russell
automatic.
Wilson was mentioned because he almost bought a boat from one of the not a boat, a jet. He was looking to possibly buy a jet, or somebody contacted him about buying a jet that happened to be Epstein's old jet, and he had no idea. And like, you know what I mean? Like he didn't. I don't like Russell Wilson, but I don't think he had anything to do with anything bad.
Not at all.
You know, even Oprah, who I don't really, whatever. She's fine. Let her do her thing. She contacted one of his people once because she had an emergency trip to go to Europe and needed a jet, and knew that he had some. But like, I don't think Oprah. Maybe, who knows? But like, you know what I mean? Like,
in the hands it's in, man. To me,
to
like,
your point, everybody's
so,
being mentioned.
Yeah, I'm so fed up with it because in the hands that it's in, those people don't actually give a crap. No one that's being loud about it actually cares. They don't care.
Right.
It's all for political gain or a stance in their where they are in their job. And like, I'm just like so over it because anything that's coming out is used into a reason of you don't know what the actual truth is. So, and they're never going to release it all. Like, I'm just so over it, like, because it's like all those people that are being loud and protesting and stuff, they don't actually give a crap about the people that were actually hurt. They don't.
That's right. Like, I don't know what's true and what's not. So it's hard to get like upset or worked up over anything because I don't know what I'm getting upset or worked up over.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, the Democrats were about 15 minutes away from my house. 5 of them interviewing Les Wexner.
My wife was just telling me about him yesterday and stuff.
Yeah, he's on all the OSU hospitals and all that jazz.
Do you guys know who Tim Dillon is, the comedian?
Yeah.
My wife showed me this video of him, dude. It was so funny. Did you guys? We don't have to get too far down this. Did you guys hear about the guy that worked at Olive Garden that stuck his head in the fryer and died?
Yeah.
So he was using, wild. He had this whole hour-long thing about Mr. and Mrs. Clinton and this analogy, dude, like it was wild about, like their last, like there's nothing left for them and their last ditch effort is the only way, like they have the power to let the truth come out, but the only way they can do that is essentially if they light themselves on fire at the same time and go down with the ship and let, and they use the analogy of like all Hillary's got left is sticking her head in that fryer and just letting everybody around watch the horror. And but it was so funny the way he talked about it. It was hilarious.
Hey, I don't know what time we're at right now. I'm sure we need to get on to bigger and better things.
Some things that we can actually help people with.
Yeah.
Well, this will be helpful, Greg. Can we just quickly mention that our government is going to release files on aliens and shit?
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's fucking do it, Shawn.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I believe in aliens, dude. I 100% believe there's other life out there.
There's supposed to be a really good documentary. I just don't want to shell out $20 for it, but it's like called like The Age of Disclosure. I'm just waiting it to become free. But apparently there's a lot of stuff on there.
I'm sure we've all met humans they're aliens, man. Some people are so they're so out there where it's like, yo, you are not from here, man.
We got a few of those in our friend group, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Wild stuff. All right, before we go any further, I actually was just real quick. Nancy Guthrie. Is she dead?
Dude, what the hell?
She's dead, dude. She's got to be dead, right?
Got to be. 100%. There's no way.
I'm so happy about it, Shawn.
I'm not happy about it. It's like,
it's bizarre.
what are we doing?
Yeah, dude. I can't believe it's still going on. Well, I feel like there's not even headlines about it anymore.
That's the point. It's like, it's just kind of like,
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I don't know.
If this was any one of our mothers, it'd be a cold case already. Like
poor Nancy.
Oh,
it would have been completely forgotten about.
Poor Nancy.
Yeah, it's just super bizarre. Anyway, we probably just lost our last listener.
Nah.
So,
they're all thinking the same thing.
We just gained extraterrestrials, bro.
Yeah, they're all listen. We're just saying the things that nobody else wants to say out loud.
I think they're all saying,
and we're not even doing the greatest job of that because we just danced around a bunch of it. But
I think they're all saying it out loud, and we're like 5 weeks late. But
no, that could be true too. It's probably true as well. All right, guys, let's pivot here a little bit. Let's pivot. We had a wonderful guest last week. We thank her again for her time. We hope everybody who listens to that episode will garner some type of hope and support out of it, or at the very least, just find it interesting and fascinating. Tonight, we get back on schedule with what we've been doing, and I want to start with this. You know, we've talked about harms done, fears, resentments, our part, where we're at fault, where were we selfish, dishonest. We've talked about that in depth. We are now at the point where we are searching out these people and or places and trying to correct the mistakes as best we can, trying to make amends, trying to set right the wrongs we have done. We got a list. We've talked this list over with our mentor and or any trusted advisors, and we are now pound to pavement in the field, in the trenches, seeking out these people, hopefully face to face, which we'll get into that, and trying to correct these mistakes. So, Greg, I start with you. The difference between saying I'm sorry and making amends. What is the difference? Is there a difference? Talk about that a little, if you don't mind.
100% there's a difference. I think that this is one of the big hangups that a lot of normal people have against us addicts and everything. Like part of the whole stigma, I guess, if you will, against drug addicts and alcoholics is that there is this idea that, you know, of course, when we first get sober, we're kind of like on cloud nine and on fire for it and want to get out there and do it. And it's a very vital part of our sobriety and our recovery is that we do get out and do this stuff, make the amends to people. But I think there is from the other side looking in on some of us is that the adage of, oh, hey, look at me. I stopped getting high, I stopped drinking, and everybody should just pat me on the back, right? And you know, and most normal people look at us like, yeah, great, dude, congratulations for not being a total scumbag, you know. Right. You know, the rest of us have been doing this our whole lives, so welcome to the club, I guess. But there absolutely is, and I think that I was told pretty early on, don't say sorry. Don't use that, you know. Making amends is me going to that person and saying, hey, I understand that I hurt you, and this is the way that I feel that I hurt you, whether it be physically, emotionally, whether I stole from you and I owe you, you know, some sort of financial amends. But not just that, but it's also like hopefully bridging that gap and having that conversation to be, hey, that might not be all, because guess what? I was half in the bag or fully in the bag pretty much every single time I interacted with you during those times that I did hurt you. So can you tell me from your perspective, how you know, if I'm missing anything, if I'm leaving anything out, please, I don't want to leave any stone unturned, because I might not stay sober if I do, you know. But it's not the I'm sorry. I'm sorries are fleeting and can be really meaningless if you think about it. I've said I'm sorry a whole lot of times in my life, and now it's time to start like really putting action into making those things right, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Dan, what about you? Saying I'm sorry versus making amends.
I was told by my mentor that saying I'm sorry, you know what I mean? It's with no action. So it's like you saying I'm sorry, it's just a word without action. You're just wasting your time. It has nothing to do with amends. Like Greg was saying, it's just totally fleeting. Is that the action part, and having that conversation. And I was told to, what I mean, adding depth to the conversation. I was like, I know I hurt you, and I know I did these things, and I don't know the extent of how bad it hurt you. I would like to make it right as best as I can, and you could tell me how you feel about it. You know what I mean? Like Greg said, to open that conversation. But yeah, I was told that was a cardinal sin. Do not say I'm sorry. Do not say I'm sorry. It needs to come with something behind it that is a meaningful. It's still, in hearsay, it's still an apology.
Sure.
But you're not saying I'm sorry, because I'm sorry is just a loose word that we say, that's not candid. But yeah, I mean, it's just the action part of it. Amends, everything is action. So like, you did this wrong. What are you willing to do to make it right? Because you're saying I'm sorry, that's not putting something in the air that you're going to do to make it right. Like, I love your analogy, Shawn, when we were talking about it. It's like when I think Corey said stealing the drills is like, or you better show up with some cookies or whatever you said. Like that's the way it works, man. It's like you can't just say that, what I mean, that you did this wrong and it won't happen again or something like that. like you're an 8-year-old kid. There's got to be an action behind it. That's making a real amends to me. But yeah, they're definitely not even close to the same.
Yeah, it's and Greg, you touched on it like a little bit. This is what I was taught. I know you guys were taught the same or something similar. When you make the approach, this is what I've done to harm you. Is there anything else I've done to harm you? Right? Give them an opportunity. I might have been drunk. Maybe I forgot. Right? And how can I make it up to you? Right? And the amend is not complete until you fulfill the however they want you to make it up to them part. And yes, most of the time we know that it's, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, thank you. Like, just whatever. Yes, if we've stolen some cookies from someone, we don't show up without some damn cookies, right? So maybe the fulfillment of that amends is the financial aspect to it and paying back or whatever the case may be, which brings, so when you ask them, what can I do to make it up to you? This brings us into this question, which Corey, I want you to talk about, is the living amends part of this. Like this is possibly I don't want to say, I don't like, I don't like saying the most important part of this or that, but like truly the living amends, like yes, the direct amends, the initial amends, but if I make direct amends to you, no matter how heartfelt it is and how genuine it is and how much I mean it, and then I go back out and I don't live right and I continue to wrong you or people around you, then it means nothing. So Corey, can you talk about living amends? What is a living amends first and foremost, and what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you just said, really. And living amends, I think, are in particular are useful when you can't make a direct amends for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't have an involved party's permission to go make a direct amends to somebody or whatever. And I mean, it seems kind of obvious, but the living amends would be to not continue to do the wrong that you did, right?
Right.
To live the opposite of that wrong or whatever. I also think too, and I think I've mentioned it on here before. It says in our literature, particularly in the amends part of our literature, it says our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum usefulness to God and our fellows, or something like that. And that's in the amends part of our literature. And I think that's obviously not by mistake. I think it's very important that even when we're talking about, like, yes, repaying our debt, we're also talking about going above and beyond and trying to serve God in that moment too, and serve that person and what have you. And I've talked about before when I got sober, I ended up for one, I can't remember specifics necessarily, but I ended up speaking to my ex-girlfriend or whatever, who I kind of drug through hell for a little while. And she had presented an issue she was having with her current boyfriend. He was like hooked on Xanax and shit. And I was like, oh my God, like, stop picking drug addicts. But nonetheless, like, that was her issue. And I can't remember what I said or anything. I just know I spent some time on the phone with her and talked to her. And offered my number to him. Was like, if he's ever willing to talk, I'd love to talk to him. Like, I don't know if I'm the best person to, but I'm definitely willing to, and blah 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 blah, whatever. And then shortly thereafter, a few months later, I was maybe circling back through my amends or something like that, and I realized I never really like made a direct amends to her, so I contacted her. Same thing. I don't say sorry. I try to avoid saying I'm sorry. Like, I have had people just want to hear that, to be honest.
Right.
But I avoided the words I'm sorry, and I laid out my wrongs. I asked her if I was missing anything. Like, is there anything I'm not bringing to light right now? And blah,
I
blah,
think
blah.
that's so important. I think that
Yes.
part of it is
Oh, yeah.
so important, because you allow the other person to talk. It's not just a monologue by me. It's now a dialogue.
Yeah, it's kind of important to be like, this is how I remember it and what I think I did to you, and I would love to hear, like, if you have more, like, what else? What am I forgetting anything? Because, and she did actually. I won't go into it, but she did say, well, actually, there was a couple other things, and she brought that to light. But what I'm trying to get to is, I said, what can I do to make it right? And she was like, I just really appreciate you talking to me a few months ago about my boyfriend and like being there to help after all we've been through and stuff. Like if you're just there like that, if I ever need you, that's all I can ask for. And I mean, that was like revolutionary to me that somebody would even want me in the realm of helping them after the shit I put them through. So so that, man, I think a living amends is trying to be useful to that person and others,
Yeah. And the other part of that too is, like, let's say to like my parents, right? There were specific things I needed to make amends for. And this is kind of an easy example, but you guys, I know you guys will understand, but our listeners will too. There were certain specific things I needed to make amends for. Direct amends, I did that. There were certain financial amends, which it's going to be the next topic of conversation that I needed to make to them. I either did that or I started to do that. And but like, to them, that's like the kind of core of the living amends is like, I need to be a good son again and be there for my parents. And when my mom wants to call me when I'm 16 months sober and freak out because she had a bad dream that I'm not sober, I don't have the right to get indignant or frustrated with her. I get to listen to her and reassure her that I'm okay, right? Or if my mom needs to just, bitch about a family member or a friend or whatever, like, I just need to listen. I need to be there. I need to set time out of my busy schedule and make sure my parents get time with me. With my dad, it's easy because we play golf together, but like, with my mom, and not just hey, come babysit the kids, see you later, but like, hey, let's talk. Let's sit down on the couch with you and the kids and have a day. Those are the living amends. And then even to the other opposite side of that, and what seems like really small stuff is, I used to litter all the time, right? When I was drunk, I used to throw stuff out of the car window. I just was terrible to the environment. A living amends for me is like not littering anymore. And if I walk past a piece of trash, pick the shit up, and throw it away. Like, those are certain, it might seem simple, might seem silly, but it's really important to me, right? I don't go to the bathroom in the handicap stall at Target anymore, because what if a handicapped person actually needs to use it?
Ooh, that's an uncomfortable moment too. If you got to come out of there while they're trying to go in, that's a really
Nobody
uncomfortable
wants to
moment.
take a dump in the really small, tiny stall at Walmart or Target, but I can't go in the handicap one because I'm not handicapped, right? Like, and those are funny, haha, but like, those are real things. Like, we try to become better citizens of the world. So going from the living amends part brings us right into a form of living amends, which is the almighty and much times scary for many people, financial amends. So, Greg, talk about a little bit of financial amends, and I want to hear from Dan too, because I know we all have, but I specifically know you guys have.
Yeah, it sucks. And it sucks. It's scary, especially because most of us come in to recovery, not just
Broke.
broken, but broke as well. Yeah, And so we're essentially starting our lives from complete scratch. We've talked about it before on the show. We've talked about day labor. We've talked about menial work, and all that stuff was very good for me in the beginning, but it didn't pay very well. And it took a lot of getting on my feet. However, again, I talked a couple weeks ago about the one of the big scary amends I made the first time I came home to Cleveland, and it was because I had stolen money from a job, and I had to go in and face up to that. And while they did tell me like, hey, don't ever come back here, and we're just glad you're living the way you're living, and keep it up and everything like that. They also hit me with the dollar amount of what it, because they had paid a forensic accountant or something like that, to figure it out whenever, back when it had happened, and it was a lot of money, and that wasn't enough that to just make a living amends for. Right? They said that they had wrote off that. As whatever kind of expense they had written it off as, and that I wasn't going to face any legal dilemmas or anything like that, but that wasn't good enough. It certainly wasn't good enough for my mentor, and it wasn't good enough for me. Even at the time, I was like, "Whoo, I don't have to pay that back," and turns out like it's very, very cut and dry in the literature. If we don't do this stuff, we will drink, we will get high again, right? And so we came up with a deal where it was like, hey, I'm going to take X amount, and in the beginning it was small amounts. It had to be, because I didn't have any money, right? I was very much living paycheck to paycheck, but we're going to donate that money to a charity. Make it a good one. Make it a good organization, something that you believe in and that you feel strongly. I chose St. Jude's, and matter of fact, we're at almost a decade, and it was done a couple months ago. But now It's like, what do I do with that? Because it's become so much of a habit, and I do believe in putting good back into the world if and when you can. Obviously, like I said in the beginning, those were very small amounts, but it was just the action of me doing it. The action of me in the beginning, I didn't even have a checking account. I had to go get a money order. I did not put my
remember that
on the money order because that was the other thing for me is, and basically I was told is like, don't take credit for this. You don't put your name on that. You don't get a pat on the back for doing the right thing. So yeah, I would, sign these money orders like Roger Waters or, Robert Plant or, or whatever, whatever name it came up with. But,
hey, Greg.
Yes.
Speaking of credit, how much of a tax credit did you get for these? Did you put these on your taxes?
No, I didn't know you could do that.
Is that not
any charitable donation?
For donations, yeah.
Oh yeah, I never did.
My God.
But speaking of taxes,
but that would be not in the spirit of what we're doing.
When I
feel like it says
getting
in our literature.
When I started getting tax returns again, like that was also too where I would like take care of a nice chunk of it, But yeah, man, it took a while, obviously, but as I got more on my feet, the more I could give, and the more that felt like it sure, I'm not going to sit here and lie. It was a little bit of a chore at first, and I didn't want to part with that money.
It's supposed to be though. Like that makes it that more impactful. Because if it was easy, you know what I mean? Like
right. But yeah, I mean, actually, Lauren and I were talking about it not too long ago. It was like, what could we do? And, we kind of looked at like some of these, like, the reputable groups where, if you send, $50 a month to a child in a foreign country and like, then you can like write letters to them and talk to them and stuff like that. And, we talked about that, but yeah, like seeing what else I can do, to put some good back into the world is always a good thing. So yeah, well, like I said, like more so it just becomes a habit, and you kind of look forward to it after a while.
Did I ever tell you guys about the fake charity I made when I worked at a Dunkin' Donuts?
Yes.
I told you that story, right? Yeah, me and
I think you told it on the pod.
I think probably, yeah, I convinced the kid I was working with. It wasn't every shift. It was only the ones I worked with him. So it was like 2 or 3 days a week. We had a fake charity that when people would come through the drive-through or to the counter, we'd like shove this basket with the fake charity name and like, oh, support this cause and that cause, you know. Yeah. Pretty scummy. Danny P, financial amends.
I'm still just floored that you were a litterer. I didn't know. I mean,
Oh, totally.
I thought you were above our bottoms, but that's like low
Dude,
bottom, man.
I was
Yeah,
I was
That's next level.
I was a scumbag back then.
Oh man, I was like litterer. I was like, man, I don't know. We might have to out him, guys. That's kind of tough.
Yeah, get the hell out, Shawn.
I used to love throwing glass bottles out of the car.
Oh man, this is just going downhill.
You hear the-
Man, what were you in the Target bathroom throwing them out the window? Jesus. Oh yeah, financial amends, man. I my biggest fear, I don't know if it was the same for you, Greg, is like, like something that I always did, in my addiction, but also had the same mentality, early on, is that like, if I can't pay it all back, then what's the point?
Right.
You get that in your head, you know what I mean? Yeah, right. And like you guys said, I didn't have no money. When child support started coming out of my paycheck when I worked for the county, my paycheck was $400 a week, and they took 200 of it.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. We got an apartment, we got all these things, and I get $200, and then my biggest financial amends is my ex and the house and all that stuff. And you go to court and you find this giant number, and you're just like, like I can't. There's no, just lock me up. The initial is like scared, fear. What are you gonna do and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, still clicking away on it, man. And there's like, when you see the amount that is actually going into it, when you forget about it and just put the action in and just keep doing these things, and then it's not a big deal, But like you said, Shawn, that's where it is. You know what I mean? That's like doing that tough thing is what an actual amends is, and that's like putting the work in to actually do it. And then like for me, like with like family, I like what Greg like. With a business, it's different, but with like family and financial stuff, it's more of like they're not going to accept money. You know what I mean? That's more to me of the living amends things, of where I can be present. I can help people. I can do things for their children. I can do things for that, because as many times there's be like, oh, no, you're good and stuff like that. But I feel like to me, like, well, I was told anyways, like with a business and with that, it's kind of different, because they, as a family member, want you to succeed, unless it's something egregiously, what I mean? I'm talking like, $1,000 or under, something like that, or, that you owe your family. I was told that is that if they do not want to accept it because they know that you were struggling at that time and they want the best for you, then you just have to be there and be present and really live that living amends, when it comes to that. But when it comes to an institution or a place that you have to do something in regards to a charity or something like that to pay that, because that's not the same thing. That's what I was told. Anyways.
Yeah. Corey, do we belong on our own amends list?
No, Shawn. Did you put that question there because you were wondering?
Well, it's a valid question. I mean, how many times do we hear people talk about that? And
it's so fucking dumb, dude. I'm only saying that because we're on a podcast.
It's so angry.
I mean,
I tend to agree with you.
I mean, for the love of God, spare me. Like, oh, I've fucking ruined my family's lives, and I've costed my wife this much money, and I've done this, and I've done that, and stepped down on the whatever. The list goes on of the things that we do, and I'm gonna write myself on my amends list. Oh, I got to make amends to myself before I make amends to anybody else. If your mentor is telling you that, never mind. I was about to go real hard there for a minute. I'm sorry. I'm gonna calm down.
Well, listen, I'll say it. If your mentor's telling you that, you might want to reassess who your mentor is.
I was going to say, fuck you, but
well, I wasn't going to say that.
So that's good.
At the very least, in all seriousness, at the very, very least, you better be the last person on that amends list, because anything else, don't put yourself first, because that's just still
the whole premise. Yeah, the whole premise of everything is
that's just still you
first.
thinking. That's just still us thinking about ourselves first.
Yeah.
And other people second, and being selfish and self-centered. So you better put yourself way down on that list, or very, very last. But here's also what I'll say. You don't need to put yourself on the list, because if you go out and make amends to the other people, you will already have forgiven yourself. Like that's how we forgive ourselves and come to terms with who we are is by going and making the amends to others.
Yeah,
going through this, going through this process and righting your wrongs. You hate yourself less and less and less and less and less.
Right.
And you're right.
Did you guys ever get hammered by like somebody where you tell them, like, you give them the chance to speak and they start listing off things that you totally forgot about or didn't know you actually did, and you're like, oh Jesus.
Yeah. I have.
I'm just curious. Yeah, I was just
curious. Not like a whole list of, not like a bunch of stuff with one person, but there was a few people where when I said is there anything else I've done to harm you? And they're like, yeah, come to think of it. And I'm like, oh, like in my head, I'm like, damn, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. It's such a like moment. You're like, oh, okay.
And a couple times I'm like thinking to myself, was that me? I'm thinking like maybe they have the person wrong, but you got to just be like, oh, okay, and kind of go with it from there.
You got to tell them to release all the files.
Unredact my name, sir.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Corey?
Nothing. I had a similar. Something got brought up to me where I was like, I don't think that was me, Bucko, but whatever. I didn't say that. I was just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like at that point you might as well, you're already taking it. You're like, yeah, just give me them all.
That's fine.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But I think an important caveat with all that is we are not like laying ourselves to be walked all over either. We can take some criticism, we can take some heat, take some fire for sure.
Just not be rated. We don't need to be
right. As God's people, we don't crawl before anyone. We stand on our feet. So there is a line there, and if we are trying to make amends to someone and all they want to do is berate us, we do have the right to just like, okay, maybe pause. Let's come back. Let's right.
Yeah.
Knuckles still work. Don't beat them up, Dan. If that's what
the knuckles still work, but
I got one, guy. I got one. Have you guys ever made them? All right. So our literature talks about what about?
We're not making amends to you, Corey.
We'll get to that, Shawn. That's on the agenda.
He put that on the Google Doc.
It's a good reason to go to Florida. If that's a reason to go to Florida, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Our literature talks about what about the man we hated. Have you guys made amends to? And I mean, hopefully by this point in the process, we don't necessarily hate anyone, and we kind of just see our faults in our relationships. But did you guys make amends to somebody that you really didn't like? Because I did.
Yes, absolutely. I've done it my first go around with my original men's list. Yes. A second, like later on a men's list that like some more intricate, the personal spot check part of it, where it's like somebody in current day, I'm sober however many years, and I wrong someone that's also in recovery and I don't like them, but I have to make amends to them. Absolutely. Those suck.
Yeah. I had one, I won't tell the whole thing, the details, because it doesn't matter, but I had a guy that I still don't like him. Like, I won't ever be caught in a room with a character like that. If that sums it up.
Yep.
But I did make amends to him, and I swear, dude, it just so figured. I was like, what can I do to make it right? And he literally says verbatim, he was like, don't be a stranger. And I was like, fuck, are you?
It's like the Seinfeld soup episode. Remember when? And never mind. It's a funny Seinfeld episode.
One of the best.
When the guy gives him the jacket, remember, and he's got to take him out for a dinner, and he takes him out to the dinner. And the guy's, I'll just have soup. And he's like, that's the dinner, that's it. And he goes, no, that doesn't count. It's just soup. And he's got to like take him out again later. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those amends, but they were more in passing than planned amends. You know what I mean? Because most of the, like people like that for me is more like in the underworld when I was doing all the stuff and stuff like that, and there was conflict or some kind of thing or whatever, and just being the people who we are, like I feel that, and like whether he thinks I did something wrong or not, like I always make sure and attack head on, man, and just go right up to them and conversation and whatever, this that, hey man. I know this happened, and is there anything I need to do to make it right and stuff like that? And just a simple one like that, just like has as it happens in happenstance. It's just the relief, man. I mean, that's the stuff works. You know what I mean? You feel it in the moment, and it's just like it's super cool. And usually it leads to a conversation. And it's like like Corey said, don't be a stranger. It's like, well, I'm trying to actually want to be a stranger from you.
Yeah, I do want to be a stranger.
Yeah,
let's trying to end this relationship on a good note.
Yeah, let's move this along, bud.
You're the one that's supposed to tell me thank you for your amends, but I never want to see your face again. That's what you were supposed to say.
And I'd be okay with that if you do. Leading us into kind of our last question, Greg, the making amends to people that have passed away or that we don't know how to get in touch with. I guess that's kind of two parts. Let's start real quick with that. Like, what do we do with people that are dead?
Well, your prayer and meditation game better be strong, brother. Because to me, that's it. I mean, part of it is living amends, right? Doing the right thing, honoring those people. I always think of our good friend Brian, and not that I owe Brian an amends for anything. I felt like I probably could have answered the phone a little bit more towards the end, when he had moved away from Florida and whatnot. But I think that's just general hindsight on most of our parts whenever we have somebody,
right,
close to us that passes. But, just try to be like that dude, more and try to live the kind of life that they lived while they were here, and try to inspire people, try to be the good in the world. But yeah, I think that for handling amends to people that aren't with us anymore, my dad springs to mind a little bit. But yeah, your prayer life better be good. Your meditation life better be good, because to me that's how I did it. Was strictly through prayer and talking to those people, the best way you can, and but I do believe that the good things come from that, like, and maybe the reconciliation and everything of those of those amends and those thoughts kind of happen over time. But yeah, I think that they do happen, and they're absolutely still possible to do to somebody that's not here with us in the physical realm anymore.
Corey, what about writing letters to dead people? Because I agree with Greg, like the prayer meditation game and the living amends, like how would that loved one or that person want to see me live my life? But what about writing a letter?
I don't think I did this right, guys. Because I did. I wrote 2 letters. Yeah, I wrote 2 letters when I first got sober. And I know, like, I've heard, like, we talk about the mountain sometimes, and I've heard of plenty of people going up there, bringing their letters there, lighting them on fire, and off they go into the atmosphere. I don't know. And that's very, like, sweet and symbolic and all that stuff. Here's the deal. I think I still have those letters, like, in the notebook I wrote them in. And I don't know.
I don't think you have to burn them. I know that is the romantic, symbolic way on top of a mountain, but
sure. Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, I don't even think I ever got further direction on that, but I wrote them and I remember what I said in them. And I honestly, I think it was cathartic, if that's the word.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that word means, but I'm going to use it.
Our previous co-host, Mr. Bill DeLuca, had a pretty powerful letter writing experience that he talks about.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Danny, what about you? You written any letters to any dead people?
No, I'm not a letter writer. For me, it's always, whatever.
Shocking.
Yeah. we do emails nowadays. I just send them to email.
Yeah. I can just see Alyssa being like, "Sweetheart, what are you doing over there?" "Oh, I'm just writing. I'm writing a letter."
Oh yeah. She would burn
pen
it,
pal,
because she doesn't want to read it. Oh man. Yeah. No, for me, it's like, because we all know. 20, 30, 40, 50 people. You know what I mean? Down in Florida, wherever it is, and stuff like that. Whether you're amends or not, man, it's like everything that hits. When someone that's not alive anymore is more divine purpose to do what you do.
Yeah.
And that's what it hits us to me. And I use it as another tool in my belt as to when somebody calls and I'm so busy and I have to do this and I have to do this, so I can't do this because I have to do this. And that hits me in my head. And that's the living amends right there. Is like, oh man, it's like, dude, it's like this dude died over this. And you know what I mean? Like, what am I doing here? Why am I putting me first and my life first? and someone needs help, I need to drop everything and I need to do this. That's how always just, it intertwined with me is that it's just more divine purpose.
I want to close this out with kind of a plea to our listeners and people that maybe are getting into recovery or have been and maybe haven't done the work or whatever the case may be. We've said it on here many times, and I certainly don't think there's one necessarily more important part of this recovery process than other. I think they all combine together to form this kind of living, breathing organism that is being recovered and recovery and all that stuff. However, if gun to my head, if you told me I had to pick the most important part of this process, I might talk about the amends part, because there's something, I start to have this relationship with God, and for pretty much all of us, God is all powerful, all knowing. He already knows everything I've done, my thoughts, my bad deeds, all that stuff. I get it out on paper in my inventory process. I tell another individual, usually my mentor, about it. So now they know, I know, God knows. All well and good, all very, very much an integral part of the process. I cannot get to an effective amends unless I've done those previous, spiritual exercises. However, there is something vastly different from God knowing and me knowing and my mentor knowing to going out to these people, looking them in the eye and saying, this is what I've done to harm you. Is there anything else I've done to harm you? How can I make it up to you? It is the crystallization process. It is sort of the culmination of all this work we've been doing so far. And I think it's where truly the magic happens, man. I mean, each of us, I've heard y'all's stories. I know intimately y'all's stories, my own. We each have like these really cool amends stories, maybe multiple ones that totally set us on fire for this whole thing and led us into a direction. So the plea is like, people, don't shrink at this part of the process. Go out, be fearless. God's got your back. God will not let us down. I believe that God 100% gives us more than we can handle so that we are forced to rely upon him. Let this be a part of that process. So anything else you guys want to touch on? Any closing thoughts, comments?
Yeah,
about
we
all
didn't.
of it.
The one freaking asset that I have in the amends talks, we didn't even talk about legal stuff. Unreal. You did that on purpose, Shawn.
I did not.
Unbelievable.
I did not do that on purpose.
Oh well.
I did not. Would you like to talk about it real quick, Corey, or you want to save that for another episode?
That's way too long of a story. For another time.
Okay. Well, you rose to the occasion. I can say that, Corey. That's for sure.
I rise to the occasion every day, Shawn.
Oh.
Hey, Greg.
Slam
Friend
it.
or foe?
Yep.
Morning wood. Friend or foe?
Friend.
On a completely separate, not amends note. How about USA Hockey, dude? Did you watch that yesterday?
Mr. Hughes, let's go.
Dude, that was unbelievable. Like, we were playing golf, my dad and me and a good friend, and we were like just watching it on the golf course, like taking 5 and 10 minute pauses and just watching. What a
Dude.
Unbelievable. That's the kind of stuff that can help heal this country.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being serious with that. I know that specific isn't going to heal all of it and like bring all the bad people to justice, but that type of stuff can unite both sides of the aisle, man.
Listen, 3 points real quick. One, it was the 46th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. Two, shout out to Johnny Goodrow's family, because they
the
did a
kids
lot.
with the picture, that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yep. And three, the most American shit I've seen in a long time was the director of the FBI slamming beers with the team in the locker room.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Cash doesn't seem like the kind of guy that slams beers.
No.
I was
Cash P was cooking, bro.
Yeah.
He
was cooking in there.
he was going
And then
nuts.
the Donnie T gave him the phone call and everything. I mean, just the excitement. It's like, dude, I don't
Unbelievable.
care whoever the president is, whatever, man. Just the full American excitement about everything and taking it in and not putting.
I know,
it
and that's the thing. That's how you know it was like such a genuine moment, is because I mean, who knows where those players land on the.
That's what I mean.
spectrum.
Yeah,
but they were like, well, they were like all stoked to talk to him, and I'm like, hell yeah,
yeah,
like that's great.
And like, how funny is it that it was Canada we beat with all the,
Yeah,
like
love it.
Daddy T trying to make Canada the 51st state. Like, poor Canada, bro. They get shit on
Yeah.
all the time, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I just like how Trudeau was like, you can't take our country and you can't take our game. Well, guess what, bitch? The NHL is
And the women, too.
99%. Yeah, and the women, right?
We beat them and oh man, it's awesome. So, all right, guys, that's a show. I love you guys. I always have a good time doing this. Prayers up for your undisclosed family member, Corey. Very, very much so. And for all those listening, go make your amends. Let's see. Shout out to our listeners. Please like, follow, share all socials. Trudge Report Pod. Hey, what's up, Noah? Trudge Report Pod. Email us, trudgereportpod@yahoo.com. Send in your mailbag requests for topics, questions, comments to any of these handles. Remember, we are all here if anyone wants to talk about recovery, our experiences, or if you're struggling with some form of addiction, including mental health. There's help out there. Please seek it. Thank you again to Janine and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Good night. God bless, and may you trudge the road of happy destiny. We'll see you next week.